All right, I have seen Dragon Ball Super Broly and it is time to review it. Yes, there are ways to see Dragon Ball Super Broly right now. Obviously, it is not the English dub. There is the original Dragon Ball Super Broly in the original Japanese language, and there are sites in which you can go and watch this movie. Now, the way that I saw this movie, it looked really high quality, but it was one of those situations where someone snuck in a camera. I guess they snuck in an HD iPhone or something and just pointed at the screen. But yes, I have seen this movie, and what I'm guessing is that one of the early premieres is where they captured the footage. But nonetheless, I have seen the movie in its entirety, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt, this movie is par for the course, predictable, and meh. Now, let me say this. If we had not seen all of those trailers, if I had not seen all of those trailers up to this point, if I had not seen the spoiler synopsis for, the movie, maybe this movie would have been a surprise to a certain degree, but it feels like, the way that I can describe it, it feels like it goes through the motions. That's all I'm gonna say. This movie definitely goes through the motions of Dragon Ball. There's not anything that's really new. And excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather right now if I sound funny, but yeah, this movie, if you've seen the previews, you've seen the movie. Except for one or two keyframes, like, you've literally seen the movie. At this point, if you go to the theater and see this movie, all you're going to see it for is the extra bit of dialogue. Other than that, you have seen the movie in its entirety. The only action scene that you have not seen in this movie is where Gogeta uses I don't know what they're calling it, but it's a version of the Kamehameha. And I mean, my assessment of it is that the Ultra Instinct Goku Kamehameha on that non-canon fusion character back in Dragon Ball Super was a lot better than this Kamehameha. So I don't even feel like that's a matter of opinion. I feel like that's a fact. Goku's Kamehameha from episode, what was it, 113 or 120 something, the one that he used against that filler character was a lot better than what Gogeta did in this movie. I'm not even kidding. Now, what I will say, and I know I'm jumping all over the place here, but this movie is very meh in the beginning. And again, I'm saying this because it's pretty much exactly like the previews put it. You are not missing any information if you do not see this movie in the beginning, because it's pretty much from start to finish what you saw in the trailers. By the time they get to the current day stuff, you almost feel, I won't say you almost feel drained. You almost feel like, oh, finally, because it's like the stuff that they show, like the whole assassination attempt on Frieza and King Cold was like, okay, whatever. If you don't know what I'm talking about, King Cold and Frieza obviously go to wherever planet Vegeta, and they attempt to snipe Frieza and King Cold, to which Frieza just takes those guys out just like that. And honestly, the scene where Cedar sends those guys after Frieza over in Universe 7, that scene was a lot more entertaining than what this was. Again, you are not, I have to stress this throughout this whole review, because I'm really disappointed in this movie, having now seen it. If you do not go to see this movie, if you have seen the previews, I stress this to you. You are not missing anything. This movie is, I do not want to say that this movie is bad. I'm trying to fight myself to not say that about this movie, because Broly is one of my favorite characters. Definitely one of my favorite movie characters, and I don't want to say anything negative about anything pertaining to his character, but yeah, this movie was, bro, man, ooh, that's all I can say. Broly, the character himself, has no character. Like, they do some interesting, like, for them to say that they gave this character a character and backstory was a complete lie. Um, Show, like, it's a difference. Like, character and origins are two different things. The character of Broly is very vanilla, very bland, very submissive and beta. Very much so. Like, wow, the way they treat him, even when he goes into his Akari state, the way that the Frieza forces treat him, the way that he's just shuffled around, it's a lot worse than what it was in the original Dragon Ball movie 8. Like, a lot of people, I feel like, and this is another thing that I've been talking about, I feel like the Team 4-star presence has had an influence over this Broly, because that's pretty much exactly the way that he is in this movie. He like, if you thought that you were going to see Broly have some depth and have some more to him, he actually has less. Because when he does go into his maniacal state, he doesn't, like, he almost doesn't talk. I don't know what they paid Vic Monogna for. I'm not bashing the guy. Let me get that straight off the right off the bat. I'm not bashing the guy, but if his lines are as much as what they gave in this original cut, this a Japanese version, I don't see why they paid this guy. Like, they must have just paid him for a couple of grunts, a yell here or there, but like, Broly has no character in this movie. That is straight up. Showing his origins, showing him stranded on that planet, and showing a couple of scenes like they show Paragus killing off that one Saiyan, and I guess because these were fan subs, which I'll be honest with you, I feel like the fan subs for this were pretty, I won't say bad. They got me through the movie, but I feel like they missed some information. But I'm talking about the quality of the movie, so I felt like I could go ahead and do this review. This movie, when Paragus killed off that one Saiyan that was with him when he went to go look for Broly, it came off as like for survival. Like, they really played this up as a sympathetic moment where he had no choice and he did whatever he could do for his son. They tried to make that a tender moment, but outside of that, like, Broly was just shuffled around in this movie. That's all I can say. Base form Broly, he doesn't really pick up and do anything until the actual fighting starts between him and Vegeta. Like, and even then, he doesn't talk. He's basically, he's on a remote control. That's all you can say. It's just like, like, man, like, they knew which parts to cut for the trailers. That's all I'm gonna say, because everything outside of what you saw in the trailers were trash. That's all I'm gonna say. And then when it got up to the point where Ikari Broly was pretty much evenly matched out with Goku and Vegeta, like, both of them were having to fight him at the same time. Frieza wanted to push him over the edge, and obviously that's already, if you've been following the information regarding the movie, you know that Frieza is the one that does Paragus in. And I say this because they basically robbed Broly of every kill that he could have gotten in this movie. Like, the kill count for a character that is supposed to be beyond Beerus was ridiculously low. He doesn't kill off any bystanders. He doesn't blow up a planet like he did in the original movie 8. Like, you know how he went legendary, he blew up that planet where all the little green slave people were from. Obviously, you know that was removed because it's not the same plot. But I'm saying that this new Broly, as he's supposed to be on a higher level of prestige, he does not have any accomplishments in this movie. Like, yeah, you can say that, oh, well, he fought Goku and Vegeta at the same time, but again, this has been done a lot throughout Dragon Ball Super, and if you're just coming off the Tournament of Power, it's like, okay, we just saw this with Jiren, and we just saw this with Toppo, and we just saw this with plenty of characters, so this is really not that big of an accomplishment. Now, when they leave Frieza high and dry, because this is where, after Frieza kills Paragus, Broly goes haywire. He beats the snot out. He proceeds. It's not like he wasn't beating the snot out of Goku and Vegeta before, but he proceeds to beat the snot out of them after he goes Super Saiyan. And at this point, like, they're like, okay, screw this, like this overpowered MFer. They're like deuces. They're out of there. They're gone at this point. And Frieza is pretty much the only one left there. Broly takes notice of Frieza being there, and he body rocks him. Now, I'm gonna say the level of violence in this movie is very tamed, and I feel like this is just the current theme of Dragon Ball, where everything is, even for Dragon Ball was never the most violent anime amongst anime. You know that some anime could just take it over the top, but even for Dragon Ball, the violence in this movie was very toned down. This is a very PG Broly. No blood, obviously. I will tell you that much. And for this to be a Broly movie, and for this to be this Saiyan onslaught, this ultimate Saiyan battle, it was very disappointing not to see not a single drop of blood throughout this entire movie. Frieza gets beat up. Goku and Vegeta go off to fuse. They fail. Obviously, Piccolo was there to help teach Vegeta how to fuse. And at this point, they flub it once, which Piccolo, that's a little comedy bit. They flub it, and Vetku tries to go off, and Piccolo's like, you're not ready for this. And no. They defuse, and then they try it again, and they do become the proper Gogeta. So they do come back in time to save Frieza, and I feel like for all the carnage that Broly was able to do to Goku and Vegeta and have them near death, I feel like it was kind of ridiculous that Frieza was able to survive what Broly did to him. It just made really no sense at all that throughout this whole movie, in base form, he's able to go against Goku and Vegeta in blue, obviously in Ikari form, and then Super Saiyan, he pushes them over the edge, but Frieza is able to survive Super Saiyan Broly. I'm just like, and then the whole Whis thing was like, they really deflated all the thunder that Broly had. I will say that wholeheartedly. Like, anything that Broly did accomplish, they quickly deflated it as soon as he did it. Gogeta comes in, and actually this portion of the movie was not that short. I feel like the fight was, I feel like it felt like 10 minutes, which was a lot longer than what you'd expect. So Broly didn't get one shot, and it is a decent bout. Like, Broly didn't go out like a punk here, and of course he does go into his Super Saiyan full power state. But when you debut a new form for a character, this is just like a horrible trend for Dragon Ball Super. Character debuts a new form immediately gets beat by whatever. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Beerus beat Super Saiyan God, Frieza beat Super Saiyan Blue, Jiren, beat the Ultra Instinct Omen, and then basically he survived, mastered Ultra Instinct. And with Broly, with this new form, he basically, even though it was not a slaughter like they pumped it up to be, the fact that he lost, I don't know. I feel odd with this, because at the end of the day, he is against a fusion of the two main characters, but man, Uh, of course, Chile does do the wish. She wishes for Broly to be safe. Broly's out there. He vanishes away from the fight before Gogeta can finish him off. Um, him and Frieza had a little dialogue, and the subtitles for this were pretty all over the place. They weren't good, so I'm not gonna try to tell you exactly what they said because I don't want to get that wrong. But Goku does go and see Broly on that planet that he was originally stranded on. So they just like threw him back. Like I felt like this was like a punishment. Like he just gets like, why would, I don't get why they would just basically exile him again back to the planet where he, like, they punished him. And they try to clean it up in a way where, oh well, Goku's gonna go give him food and visit him. But it's like, why would you put him in solitary confinement? Basically, you just put him on an empty planet with nobody there with him as a freaking punishment. I don't care how the movie tried to make it look like friendly and cute or whatever. And I feel like that's the overall tone of this movie, is PG Broly. That's all that you really have to know about this movie. PG Broly, PG Broly, PG Broly. So that's pretty much the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie from start to finish. No real surprises. You didn't miss anything if you watched the trailers. Anyone that tells you otherwise, I feel like, and this is gonna sound bad, but I feel like they're a shield that's just trying to get you over the threshold to go give your money away. I'm telling you right now, if you have seen every single trailer, don't go see this movie. You've seen it. There's nothing you're missing out on. You're just going to see some dialogue. I don't recommend going to see this movie. Now, if you are the lucky few that have managed to avoid all spoilers, and you have not read anything, and you have not watched anything, then yeah, you can go see this movie. But as a Dragon Ball movie, it was terrible. It was terrible. Not worse than Bio Broly, but probably on par with Broly the Second Coming, because they basically flanderized his character in that same way, where like the Team 4-star base Broly, that's pretty much the Broly you get through most of this movie. And when he does go and transform, he's not even wild in the Broly way. He's just wild as if any character goes wild. So that's my assessment of the movie, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I cannot link to the movie. I don't want Toei up my butt about this stuff, because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, and I don't want to get my channel in trouble by linking to the source like that. But if you look on Facebook, you will find this movie. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.